Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
You're welcome.
Yes, please. I'm so sorry. I've been in and out of the chat room. So sorry, but I'm available now. I'm here now.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, my contributions.
Has it been knocked off?
It's been knocked off again. Are you sure Deji this is now? Are you sure?
Deji, are you there?
No, he's gone. He's gone. Connecting back, but while you do, let me bring in back. Let me bring in Mazi Obiokoli. He raised his hand. He wants to say something or have a question. Mazi Obiokoli, can you unmute yourself and go ahead?
He has a minute because we're running out of time.
Yeah. Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and I greet you with the sincere greetings of peace. I think my is a question. When they came for the OD people, we did not say anything because we were not from Delta. They came for the Shiites. We kept silent because we were not religious. They went for the indigenous people of Biafra. We all went silent because Nnamdi Kanu had no right to speak. Then they came for the SARS protesters. And now we are trying again to keep silent because people are being paid. Is that we have international bodies, we have international organizations. My question is, why have we not pursued a very vigorous campaign for the International Court of Justice to look at this? Why have we not pursued the option to indict these people in Spain and get an international arrest warrant against them? The Spanish community or the Spanish nation, they have laws within Spain that if you have evidence to prove that there was massacre, ethnic cleansing, and genocide against the people, you can get an international warrant of arrest. And anytime these people leave the shores of Nigeria, they will definitely be arrested. Why are we not pursuing this option? Is it something that we will keep silent again? This will happen, and the next will happen. Since I was a student in University of Jos, I have seen colleagues killed. I've seen people murdered. We went in Nedeko. We saw a lot of us died. Luckily, some of us got out and are abroad today, kind of chased away from the nation that we claim to be our own. I think, why are we not pursuing these international sanctions? I'm not talking about sanctions because when we discussed with the British government, they said they cannot impose economic sanction, that it will hurt their economy. Why are we not pursuing legal sanctions against these people? Make sure that they don't leave the shores of Nigeria. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mazi Obi. If I can chip in a little thing, I think we have to look back on what happened.
Oh, sorry, apologies. My network went off. So sorry.
Yeah, welcome back, Deji. We hope the network will be stable now. Go ahead.
I was thinking the DSS took him out already.
Oh no, you can unmute yourself, please.
He's muted.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. I think I've done that. So
Okay.
thank you guys for having me. On issue of the EndSARS campaign and advocacy that's been going on in the country, many of you who are familiar with the EndSARS know that it didn't start today. Myself, Shegun Awosonya, and a few others who started it in 2016 and 2017. But when we were shouting, nobody was listening. Until a few months ago, I think about 2 months ago or 3 months ago, and many people began to join the campaign and advocacy. I believe that the first EndSARS rally we had was in 2017, and we had also, while we were having the rallies back then, Shegun Awosonya and others had also engaged the National Assembly, with a view to amending the Police Act, because you cannot talk about EndSARS without talking the Police Act. It's just like beating around the bush. SARS is just a metaphor. What is wrong with the policing system in our country is beyond SARS. Whether it be the Special Anti-Kidnapping Squad, that's SACS, whether it be the Special Kidnapping Squad, whether it be the Special Anti-Robbery Squad itself, and other tactics, even the IGP monitoring unit. you know, and other such tactical squad. You know, these guys have, over the years, if any of you have ever been a victim of police torture, I have been. So if you've been a victim of police torture, you know, then you understand why people have been screaming for decades about the need for us to have police reform in the country. You know, majority of the people in the country who are not bothered about what's going on in the country is because they've never been victim of injustice. I have been incarcerated severally. I have been beaten severally, either by the SSS and the police. You know, so I know what it means for somebody's right in chapter 4 to be taken away from them. However, there are so many people that because they've never been affected before, when those who have been affected are speaking, they believe that nothing concerns me. So they are not interested. However, we've been screaming this EndSARS since 2016. The unique thing this time around is that celebrities got on board. Celebrities and normal Nigerians who hitherto had not been interested whatsoever about what was going on, especially around human rights in the country. So they got involved, and that was the reason that made me tell many of the activists that please, Nigerians have gotten involved. Let us all go back and allow them to take the lead in this advocacy, which is exactly what was done. The reason why it was very important to withdraw from the campaigns and the agitation to EndSARS was because so that it can be owned by the Nigerian people, so that there will not be any allegation of it being sponsored anywhere or by anybody. Now, even with that, Nigerians came together, rallied together, put their 1 naira, 2 naira, 3 naira together to sponsor their own thing. The government still went ahead and blocked their accounts. You know, the government still identified some people that helped raise money, people that helped disburse money, blocked their accounts. The government went as far as freezing the accounts of these people. The government went as far as seizing the passport of one of these people and denying her access to leave the country, thereby denying her of her right of ingress and egress. When the government knows that what it is doing is illegal, the case of Ulisa Bakoba and Director of SSS, the Supreme Court has already said that nobody, and this was even under the military regime, that nobody has the right to seize anybody's passport, to prevent anybody from leaving the country, except on the order of a court. So when we see people, you know, justifying the illegalities, unconstitutional acts, and anti-democratic acts of people who once told us that they were coming to deliver change, when we see people, you know, who should know better defining such acts, why then should we be surprised? We won't be surprised because they are currently on the dining table enjoying. And so you can understand when someone like Lai Mohammed is saying that he wants to sanction the CNN, you know, this is somebody who has a history of, you know, viciousness. When they were in the opposition, Lai Mohammed had a record of viciousness. So when you see people like that, and you put it vis-a-vis what they've done in the past, and the double speaking now that they are doing now, and you begin to wonder, how did we find ourselves in this situation? A government that negotiates with terrorists, a government that negotiates with bandits, but attack peaceful protesters with live rounds. So how can anybody justify such things? I just came back from a wedding in Kogi, in my state, Kogi State. And I can tell you that even on the road, the level of fear, just from Abuja to Lokoja, that is just about 2 hours. The level of fear by the commuters and everybody keeps saying you have to go back and make sure you get back to Abuja before it's 4 p.m. Because once it's 4 p.m., people are kidnapped on this road so rampantly. If the president, like what I have said, and I'm challenging the president again, Yabelo said the president is as white as snow. If the president is confident that he has done well and that the country is working, he should take a drive to his home state in Katsina. I'm not saying you should not go without security. No, you should go with just 20 soldiers and 20 police officers, I can assure you that the president will be abducted by bandits. And the president will not dare it. He won't dare take such a risk. So that's how unsafe and unsecure the country has been under his watch. This is somebody who was insulting the PDP over insecurity. This is somebody that asked Jonathan to resign over insecurity in 2014, 2015. This is a man who was busy boasting in 2014, 2015 that what is Boko Haram? Today he negotiates with Boko Haram. He grants Boko Haram not just amnesty. They give them red carpet treatment, VIP treatment. Today, bandits are holding meetings in Government House in Katsina with Governor Masari and several others. Today, you look at a situation where I just told you that I came back from Lokoja now. Imagine commuters afraid. Now, police officers and soldiers traveling are also afraid. 12 senior police officers, assistant superintendent of police, were abducted in the president's home state where they were traveling, fully armed. You can imagine the audacity of the bandits. They abducted them and they are now demanding 100 million ransom. Then 7 police officers again were abducted in Niger State yesterday, and one of them was killed. So 1 killed, 7 abducted. If you put 7 plus 12, that's 19 police officers abducted just this week alone. And somebody will open his mouth and say he's president of a nation. President, how? When? How? Buhari is just having fun in Aso Rock. He's in a retirement home. He's having the fun of his life, eating 3 square meals. You know, he cannot wait for the lockdown in UK to be over so that he can use the presidential jet to go to the UK, visit his doctor. You know, then he will go and meet the Archbishop of Canterbury, you know, take some pictures, you know, and just the man is just having fun. So when we see clowns like Lai Mohammed, Femi Adesina, Garba Shehu, these clowns dancing around in the market square, you know, like jesters. So why should anybody take this guy serious? You know, so for me, I've been shouting since 2015. I have been arrested, sent to jail, beaten on the street like a criminal. We have been shouting this for Nigerians to come out on the street and protest. That is the only way since 2015, and people were laughing. Now people can see the reality. The same things that we've been facing. What did they do to EndSARS that they have not done to us? I was protesting with the Shiites. Live rounds. They opened live rounds on us. Right here in Federal Secretariat, they killed 38 people. So what is it that is going on now that has not been happening before? So why are people trying to make it look as if Buhari has just done something so strange? Oh, people are acting so surprised. What is so strange about what Buhari is doing? This is his regular trademark. And Buhari cannot change. Expecting Buhari to change is like asking the devil for salvation, which is practically impossible. So these are my views. When you look at, since President Buhari became president, is there any right, fundamental human right that he has not violated for the Nigerian people? Section 33, he has violated the right to sanctity of human life in Nigeria. Human life has become so cheap. The right to freedom of the press, violated. Look at the way NBC threatens people. You know, at the peak of EndSARS, NBC was issuing directive to media houses on how to cover the EndSARS campaign and that they must not embarrass government in any way. Which other rights are there that Buhari has not violated? Is it right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion? Yes, because you see Buhari going after the Shiites. He does not believe that they are Muslim enough. So is it section 37 of the Constitution, right to privacy, when somebody, you are freezing people's accounts? How does that even make any sense in a democracy? Even Abacha did not do this worse. Is it section 36? Buhari has violated almost everything. Freedom of movement. You arrest people. How do you justify arresting somebody? My younger brother, Ero Mosele, you arrest him because he was a part of SARS. He protested. So he committed a crime by that. You know, so when you look at it critically, then you begin to wonder that how did we find ourselves here? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mazi.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let's have the last question, then we come back to all the speakers for the...
First, thank my big sister, you know, Auntie Uncle Briggs. I also want to thank my Egbon, Inka Domakin, Professor Chris, Imafodun, Dr. Pedro Basike, you know, and every other body, Shield, and everybody that contributed. You asked what next. What next is that Buhari is going to go after social media, because, you know, social media is the last hope of the common man. and many of us are going to go to jail because we will not stop tweeting. What's next? What's next is that Buhari is not going to stop his tyranny. So we must also not stop agitating. This is what many of us have been shouting since 2015. What's next is that Buhari is going to criminalize protests, which is exactly what they're already planning to do. What's next is Buhari is going to criminalize free speech. So Nigerians, the only language the tyrant understand is resistance. If we fail to collectively resist them, for the 2 weeks of EndSARS, you saw that they were confused. They were completely scared because they didn't even know what to do, how to do it. So they had to do a lot of mobilization, and again, we need to capitalize on the hunger in the land. There's so much hunger. You saw how people were moving from warehouse to the other, looking for palliatives. These are heartless men, people who can hide carton of Indomie, who can hide La Casera, Capri-Sun drinks. These are just heartless people. So the only way out is for us to say we are tired of our chains and that we are willing to damn the consequences. I've been going to jail since when I was 18. The first time I went to jail, I was 18 years old. Now I'm 41. So you can imagine if anybody trying to scare me with jail now, it will definitely not work. So we must get to that point when we tell ourselves the truth that, man, we've had enough and that we must rise up collectively. Thank you, and God bless all the speakers.
Thank you very much, Deji. Thank you. It's a very fine place to leave it, because at the end of the day, you said these are the things, the things you said that are very likely to happen. And hence the reason why we are all here discussing, because at the end of the day, listen, people, an injustice to one is injustice to all, because no Nigerian is more Nigerian than the other. So if we are going to be Nigerians, then we have to demand it. If we don't, then let it be. And just to wrap